Hello, everyone, and welcome this afternoon to the University of Chicago Graduate Student at Large Information Session. I am so thrilled to be meeting you, and I'm so thrilled that we will be having this info session. This is a beautiful campus, and on such a beautiful day with nearly 40-degree temperature, let's enjoy it. I'm really, when I look out of my window here at the Graham School and I tilt my head a bit, I can see beautiful Rockefeller Chapel and all these beautiful, beautiful buildings at the University of Chicago, the Hyde Park campus. So, today, we're really going to use our time for me to share a little bit about the Graduate Student at Large program, the suite of programs, a little bit about courses and what you can do through these programs, a little bit about timelines and details, and leave lots of time for questions. So I'm hoping that you will be ready to ask questions. Please use the chat box. My colleague Tom is here as well. He'll help me monitor that. And also feel free to put your hand up, through the little emoji, and then we can take questions live as well. Okay. Oops. That's me. Now you've seen me live. This is my name. I am Esther Risky, and this is my email address. Morning, noon, or night, you can email me. No question is too small. No question is unimportant. I will respond. The most important thing is I really want to get to know you. And, even if you choose to apply 3 years later, or you don't choose to apply, or you choose to apply to another program, I would like to get to know you, to hear your story, to see how any of the programs here at the University of Chicago or beyond can help you reach whatever goals you have for yourself. Okay, so let's begin with our first and most important slide. The University of Chicago operates on an academic quarter system. So there are 4 academic quarters, and each quarter is 10 weeks long. So the spring quarter, which is this next upcoming quarter, where we are really working with students to put in their applications, the quarter begins Monday, March 23rd, and classes will end Friday, June 5th. Following that, we have the summer quarter, Monday, June 8th, and ends Saturday, August 29th. After which we have the autumn quarter, which is the largest quarter, and that quarter will begin September 28th and end December 12th. And then the winter quarter, which begins in January 2027 and ends Friday, March 19th. So it's 4 academic quarters. Each quarter is 10 weeks long. Now, important thing I'd like to make a note before we go through this slide is you can choose to apply to the first spring quarter, as we just shared, and you don't have to take a class in the spring. You can wait to take a class in the summer, the autumn, or even the winter. We keep this completely flexible so that students don't feel a pressure to say, oh my goodness, I've applied this quarter, I have to take a class. Absolutely not. We keep it flexible for you. So if you put in your application for spring, you'll just get to know us, you'll get to know my entire team, you'll receive helpful information, you will be invited to events and happy hours and socials for our, current students. You can join us. So it's completely flexible. So keep that in mind as we go through these slides. Okay. So there are 3 distinct programs. The first program is called the Graduate Student at Large program. This is where you are taking classes for credits, all across the University of Chicago. And this is meant for students who want credits and grades. And these are for students who want to use these classes as you're exploring further graduate MA or MBA or PhD degree programs to really just improve yourself, to think about a graduate degree, or you're thinking about a professional career, right, that you really need training for, academic growth. So these are for students who really, really want the credits and grades. Full participation in classrooms. So it means your classmates in these classrooms will be either upper level undergraduate college students or MA students or PhD students. So you really can get to know graduate students, get to know the professor really well, and build relationships. You get formal grades, you get our official University of Chicago transcript. You know, the transcript is really valued as one of the most precious, if not the most precious document of any university. And this degree, this graduate student at large program will afford you the transcript. You can ask the professors who talk to the class to actually write letters of recommendation as well. Personalized advising, you will meet with me and you will meet with my colleagues weekly, one-on-one. And so you really are coached and connected to departments, faculty, to think about your own life, to take these classes, and to move forward. The second program is the same idea. It's again 4 credits and grades, but this is only for Chicago Booth, right? So it's graduate student at large business. B for business, B for Booth. So these are for students who are interested only in an MBA at Chicago Booth. So this is really important, the same way. Ideal for candidates who really want that MBA degree, but we're not really sure. Is Chicago a good MBA program? Do I want to do this? Shall I take a class and see if it's the right fit for me? Do I want to do the MBA? Or do I want to do, a public policy degree or a public health degree or public administration degree? All of those things to really explore the MBA. Students do the GSALB program. And again, access to booth faculty, resources, all of those. Oops. The third program is the Returning Scholars Program. This is for students who wish to formally audit a class. What does that mean? It means you are not taking classes for credit. You are not taking classes for grades, but you are in those same classrooms with upper level college students, with MA students, and with PhD students. So this is a very important program. But again, you can't use these classes for future transfer credit, right? Because there's no credits and there are no grades. It's really for intellectual engagement, for students who feel they don't really want to do homework or examinations anymore. Remember, because for graduate student at large and graduate student at large business, you are taking classes for credits and grades, and you are doing all the homework, and you are receiving grades. For returning scholar, you're in the classroom, you're registered, but you're auditing. I hope that makes sense. So before I move to the next screen, are there any questions about these 3? And for our newly joined colleagues, please don't worry, I shall go through them again. 3 distinct programs: graduate student at large business, returning scholar. If not, let me move to the next and we'll always come back to it. Now, so where can you take these classes? For graduate student at large, the first program that you're taking for credits and grades, You can take classes at the undergraduate University of Chicago College, right? Which has undergraduate courses in the physical sciences, or math, chemistry, statistics, computer science, anthropology, sociology. Any of those at the college you can take. The graduate division. So these are graduate divisions in the humanities, social sciences, again, anthropology, sociology, political science, any of those classes. Physical sciences, again, computer science, statistics, data analytics, financial math, any of those, right? Astronomy, chemistry, all of that. Biological sciences. I get a lot of students who are interested in clinical biological sciences work, also students who are interested in pre-medicine. So you certainly can take either biological sciences undergraduate classes in the college, or you can also take classes in the graduate division of the biological sciences. Graduate students at large, GSAL program also allows our students to take classes at the Harris School of Public Policy, the Crown School of Social Work, the Divinity School, the Law School, and Chicago Booth School is only meant for GSALB students, right? So you can take classes in all of these areas. Um, and when you look at these divisions and schools, you can see that most of these divisions, if not all, are ranked very, very high. So if you think about economics, right, we have a lot of interested students in economics who want to do classes in statistics, computer science. They are ranked top in the world. Our Department of Economics, applied data science, computer science. So all of these, I mean, you will have the opportunity for really rigorous work in these divisions and schools. Chicago Booth School of Business is constantly ranked one or two or three in the world's rankings, right? I mean, all of our schools and programs. So graduate student at large will allow you with the correct prerequisite courses to take classes in the college, these graduate divisions, professional schools. Graduate student at large business only in GSA or B program. And returning scholar, you can audit certain classes in divisions and programs. So, what is the value of the graduate student at large program? So, why should you be in the graduate student at large program? Well, it fosters a diverse and inclusive academic community by non-traditional scholars and practitioners engaging in classrooms. So this is not a special opportunity just meant for our students doing it by themselves in a cohort. No, you have the same classroom experience as those who are in either the undergraduate college program or in graduate program. So it really allows you to engage, to sort of like put yourself in that balance to say, how well am I doing? How well do I hold up against these scholars in master's or PhD programs? How comfortable am I in, and how well am I doing? So it's really important. You get formal grades, official transcripts. You also have access to the faculty, incredible professors who are happy and willing to talk to you because you are registered in their program, in their classes. You can ask them to write letters of recommendation if you have done well in the class. And again, we don't leave you to navigate this experience alone. I am there and I will follow up closely with you to talk to you about your interest, why this class, have you spoken to the faculty, what are you reading, how do you feel? It's almost like a concierge type of experience where we work very closely with you from start to finish and then help you prepare for graduate school applications when you are ready, if that is what you wish to do. GSALB, the same experience, but only for Chicago booth, right? You are taking classes at Chicago booth. You are engaging in the same classroom experience. And let's say you choose and complete 3 booth courses through GSALB, and then you apply to Chicago Booth MBA program and are granted admission. All 3 classes that you took through GSALB will transfer into the Booth MBA curriculum at Chicago Booth. So it's an incredible experience. You will also have chances to meet with all the Booth professors. You can network with MBA students and attend their events. So you really feel, is this the right MBA culture I would like to apply to for my future? So once again, GSALB, you are taking courses at the college, graduate divisions, physical sciences, humanities, social sciences, biological sciences, professional schools. You have access to a University of Chicago ID, a University of Chicago email address, both GSAL and GSALB. You have access to the libraries and all the other resources. You network and connect with students and faculty across the university. We have some pretty amazing faculty here. The last time we checked, we still have the most number of active Nobel laureates who are teaching at the University of Chicago. We have Booker Prize winners. We have prize winners in every possible field who will be open to having conversations with you if you are registered for their classes. So what are we looking for, right, in our students who are interested in our programs? You have to be curious and open. You have to be eager to do rigorous, ambitious classwork. Even if you're a returning scholar and you just choose to audit classes, you still need to do the reading and participate in conversations. You really need to be innovative and visionary and collaborative to work with your classmates on projects. And again, right, my team is here, I am here to really support you so that you can do your very best while you're with us and sort of use this experience as something very, very helpful to yourself. So if you are a graduate student at large, a graduate student at large business, or a returning scholar, you will have intensive academic advising with my team. You will have assistance in graduate school application support. There's a vibrant GSAL, GSALB alumni network. Students who have gone on to master's or PhD programs, you can befriend them. You have access to libraries. We have a lot of virtual and in-person happy hours that you can participate in. So it shouldn't be a lonesome experience, but you will have a community of academic and sort of social help and support. So again, as I shared with you, there are 4 academic quarters. So we are now conducting and really doing admissions interviews for spring quarter. And the deadline for the application is Tuesday, March 3rd. So Tuesday, March 3rd. So we have a little bit less than 3 weeks to go. And classes will begin March 23rd. And as I shared before, even if you put in your application for spring quarter 2023, you don't need to take a class in the spring. You can wait till summer, you can wait till autumn or the following winter. There is no pressure. We keep this completely flexible to support our students in their timing of their own journeys. But just keep in mind, if you're thinking about putting in your application, then it's March 3rd. So what do we look for in the application? A completed application online Pretty basic, just fill out all the information. A statement of purpose, which is either one page or two-page, double spaced. Really just telling me who you are, what you've done, and what you're thinking of doing. And the what you're thinking of doing needn't be all that clear. You can just say, Esther, I love history. And I would love to, revisit my love of history, but I also love politics and public policy. That's all you need to do. I will find courses and we can have a wonderful conversation. We do ask for a resume, updated resume for you to put in online. Transcripts. Every transcript that you have in terms of, let's say you have three transcripts. You have transfer credit from one institution and then you finished your bachelor's degree in a certain university. We'll need to see the transfer credit and the final transcript from your bachelor's degree. If you have other transcripts of master's degrees, PhD, we have students who are coming with all sorts of backgrounds. So put in all those transcripts. And remember, for this experience, you have to have a 4-year bachelor's degree. I do receive questions from students, applicants who tell me, can I apply with a 2-year community college degree? And I would say no. We do need, the University of Chicago's policies requires a 4-year bachelor's degree. So keep that in mind. For international students who have studied and completed bachelor's degrees where English language is not the first or business language, we require TOEFL scores. There's an application fee that you need to pay unless you are a current employee of the University of Chicago or you're an alum of the University of Chicago. Once you put all of that in your application online and hit submit, my wonderful colleague will review your application online and contact you for a Zoom interview. The Zoom interview will literally be 15-20 minutes where they go through all the questions that they wish to require, and all of that. And they will be able to make a decision of whether you are ready to join our program at Graduate Student at Large, Graduate Student at Large Business, or Returning Scholar. Here is cost. So Graduate Student at Large cost per course is $4,600 per class. And this is 3 hours of instruction per week. Remember, it can be undergraduate or it can be graduate level. It's $4,600. Returning scholar, these are for students who are auditing classes. So you get a transcript with an audit sign. You don't do homework. You don't do exams. That is $2,800 per class. Graduate student at large, only graduate students at large. It's the one out of the 3 programs where you pay a graduate student services fee of $503 only in the quarter where you register for a class. So if you're not registered, everything is zero. But if you are registered for a class, then $503 is added for health clinic online, for the gym online, for the library services, for all the graduate student workshops and coaching services. That's $503 per quarter. Only for graduate students at large, not for returning scholar and not for graduate students at large business. Graduate student at large business cost per course is in line with Chicago Booth Business. So each class is $8,735. There is an application fee of $75 for all 3 programs. And the lifetime transcript fee of $81 is for all 3 programs, after which every time you wish to order a transcript from henceforth will be free. So once again, graduate student at large class per course is $4,600. Returning scholar is $2,800. Graduate students at large business to take classes at Chicago booth is $87.35. There's a graduate student services fee of $503 only for graduate student at large, application fee of $75 for all three programs, and a lifetime transcript fee. There are student loans available through Student Loan Administration, and we can send you all that information. So now I am actually going to stop sharing and I am going to hopefully welcome you to ask all your questions. Please welcome. It is a wonderful time to ask all your questions. Feel free. Who's going to go first? Jeremiah, I'm going to call on you.
Awesome. Thank you for all of that. That was very helpful. As someone who's a prospective GSAL student, I think my only question, I believe that you touched on this, but I want to make sure. So for the graduate student at large program, not the booth program, if we applied to that program, we could also do a booth course. That's included within
Beautiful.
the professional
Ooh,
schools, right?
beautiful, beautiful question. In every quarter, you can only
Mhm,
be in graduate student at large or graduate student at large business. I have
mhm,
students like you who say, Esther, my first class, I would like to take a class in statistics or
mhm.
economics. So that's GSAL, right? So we put you in
Right.
GSAL 4600. And then let's say the second quarter, you say, Esther, I really feel I want to take a class at Booth to
Mhm.
test myself. We switch you on the back end,
Oh,
but you have to
interesting.
understand when we switch you on the back end, you realize, okay, now my tuition is going to be 8,700. I can
Right.
only take this one class at Booth.
Got it. Okay.
Does
Okay.
that make
That
sense?
that
And again,
yeah.
you won't just be taking random classes. I will get
Hmm.
to know you. Jeremiah, why is this switch happening? Tell me what you're thinking. So all
Hmm.
of that sort of support you will have. And just to sort of be to clarify, right? For graduate student at large, I
Hmm.
would say 90% of classes are in person, and they are
Got it.
on the Hyde Park campus on the south side of Chicago. And
Hmm.
these classes are traditional timing. So it's like 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, an hour and a half, an hour and a half. I mean, an hour, an hour, things like that.
Right.
Now, there are a few classes, like for instance, applied data science. You can
Hmm.
take evening classes, and that's in the downtown campus. Now,
Okay.
for graduate student at large business, these classes are made for full-time workers, people who are working. So classes are 1 day a week in the evening, downtown
Hmm.
campus,
Hmm.
or they are on Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, 1 day a week, again downtown. It's made for people who are working 60, 70 hours a week in banks, in all sorts of different walks of life, who literally come in at 6 o'clock with their coffee. And I see them because sometimes I'm there and they're charging in for class. It's 6 o'clock to 9 o'clock.
Hmm.
And then, and all of them work together to get the classes done. So even if you then move into the MBA program, it's the same thing. You can choose classes in the evening or on Saturday morning or afternoon.
Got it. Got it. And my only other question that I had. So I know that the application deadline is March 3rd, and then you mentioned when the first day of classes would be. Following our interview, do you know the timeline for us being contacted for if we're admitted into the program or not?
Within 5 days.
Okay. Got it.
Very quick. So I always say, right, put in your and the application, we are not asking for letters of recommendation. I'm
Hmm.
not asking for GRE or GMAT, all these things that traditional graduate programs look for, we don't need. I'm not looking for those. I'm just looking for a short piece, 1 page or 2 page, double-sided. Tell me who you are, what you're thinking, and we're here to help you.
Great. Great. Awesome.
And again,
Well, yeah,
now
that's
that
helpful.
you know me, ask away all your questions, email, because we're here to help you.
Great. Great. Those are my questions. Thank you.
Hey, Andrea, can I call on you?
Sure. That was a really great presentation. Thank you. The only thing, and you may have said I might have missed it, if you were the person, the level where you're auditing, do you have access to the library, like if you wanted to research things or go deeper, or is that just more for the people who are taking courses for credit?
Returning scholar, which is the audit function, the only resources you have besides your University of Chicago email address and an ID card like this to
Mhm.
get into offices and things, you can use the library.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. And are you able to like use it online at home, or do you have to go in and use it?
My understanding is you can check out books and, what we call you log in with your University of Chicago credentials. I'm almost quite certain you can pull out full text articles and things online.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. And then I just had another quick question.
Yep.
So I never graduated undergraduate, but I did go through medical school and finish that. Would that count?
We need a 4-year bachelor's degree.
Gotcha.
So this is what we call a nuance because you have an MD, it's an MD degree, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
So I'm not going to say this. I think it will supersede, but we want to be sure because these are all our divisions respond to the larger policy. We'll check, Andrea, but
Okay.
please follow up with us and we will check for you.
All right. Thank you.
That is so
That's
wonderful to
that's
hear.
all the
Yes.
questions I had. Thank you.
Let's hear from Elaine, and I believe it's Drayton and Roger, Toshin, William.
I have two questions. One is if we this is Dryden. If let's say I apply for March, how and then I find out I really have time in the fall quarter. Uh, how does a fee structure work? Like, do you pay in March and then join?
So if you take a class, okay, for spring, you will pay after week 3. So remember, the quarter is 10 weeks, right? Oh, thanks, Tom. Tom's put something. Oh, that's my booking calendar. Yeah, yeah. Please, everybody book. But Drayton, so the quarter is 10 weeks. After week 3, if you are registered for a class and you're happy with the class, then you pay tuition week 4. Now, if you're not taking a class until autumn, don't worry. You will be charged only when you register for a class autumn week 4.
Okay. And if I, for example, start maybe as a returning scholar, and at week 3 I find out, hey, I want to switch and make it credit worthy, how does that work?
So when the quarter begins, you have to be either returning scholar or graduate student at large, right? Because the professor is the one who's grading. So
Okay.
on their sheet, they'll see you as returning scholar. They won't do a switch after week 3. So maybe week 1, right? With my help, we'll go to the professor and say, Dryden really, he started as returning scholar, but now he's going to be taking for a grade. That's fine. But again, we don't want to, because you have to do the homework, right? For them to start adding what your points look like for a grade. Does that make sense? We will work closely with you, Dryden.
Okay, no, that works. Thank you. And I guess the final one is, how do I search for the courses that are on the specific program?
Tom, can you put that in timeschedules.uchicago.edu? And again, right? The time Tom is putting it in our chat. By the way, Tom, wave and say hello. Tom is my wonderful recruitment specialist who works with GSAL, so you might get emails from him. And the time schedules, this is the main sort of course catalog that everybody uses. And you can look at archives or you can look at upcoming spring. Remember, we're now looking at upcoming spring 2026 and 300 level. Okay, so keep in mind, undergraduate courses at the University of Chicago are 100 and 200 level. So if you see a class like political science 1 something something something, you know it's undergrad. If it's political science 20 something something, undergrad. The minute you see 3, you know it's graduate. Sounds good. Drayton, I think that was the Drayton question.
Yes. No, that
Perfect.
works. I'm exploring the calendar.
Please do. Roger, let's hear from you.
Hi, Esther. Yeah, I apologize. I was a bit late to the meeting, so if you had already covered
No
this, I
worries. We're just happy you're here.
thank you. So my interest is aiming towards the PME program.
Yep.
And so I was wondering, because I didn't see it on the slides I caught, could I, as a GSAL student, take part in those classes so that I could
Yep.
make my way towards to, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's okay.
PME, right? As we know, for us, it's a rather new, I think it's been like 5 or 6 years, and they allow graduate students. But again, I will connect you to the department so that they can have a sort of a subject, a content conversation with you to make sure this particular class, you're ready to take it. You have what we call the prerequisites, right? So this is the main idea. Now, I can't be a content expert in all most of this, right? Maybe in my little area, I would know. So my job is to make sure you have the prerequisite studies because, again, we're not following a cohort. You're taking classes as and when. So I will connect you to the faculty, the professors, the department, so you will know when you're enrolled in the class, you're ready to take it.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that was great. I think that's my only question. I wanted to make sure that
So do it. So
I
put
came
it
for that.
because the moment you become a GSAL student, Roger, we can then connect you and say, hey, this is my current student. You're not a prospective person, right, who wants to talk to faculty at PME, but really you're a current student. So they will actually make time to have conversations, which are really the most important thing.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. More questions, Toshin. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Any other questions?
Hi. Not a question, but I just wanted to thank you for your time and for doing this. I sat with you actually in person. It
Yes.
was just before COVID. So 2019, 2018, around that time. So right out of undergrad. But thank you again.
William, wait, so did we talk back in 2019?
We did, and you and I actually connected
That's
on
why
LinkedIn.
I know the name.
Yes.
You know, I'm getting on in years, but I remember names and I remembered your name. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, William. So now that Tom has also shared my booking form, please, everybody just make an appointment with me via Zoom so you can talk to me one-to-one about, tell me your story. Tell me what you're thinking. And I can then really start working with you, even at this point, to see how we can support you as you consider this. Tosin, yes, let's hear from you. Am I pronouncing your name correctly?
Hi. Very close. Tosin.
Tosin, hello.
Yes. Hi. You actually did a pretty decent job. Most people don't actually do it too well.
Well. But my question to you is, Tosin, can you roll your R's? I can roll my R's. Now, that's actually quite a feat.
No, I can only flip them, unfortunately. I really did try, but I'm just not good at it.
Okay, let's hear your question.
Oh, yeah. So just because for me, I'm coming directly out of undergrad, so I won't actually be officially a undergraduate, like graduate, essentially. I won't have my degree until this coming summer.
Yep.
And so I'm just kind of wondering how that might look different for me as opposed to somebody who's returning after, say, additional graduate degrees or who has some sort of like length between the kind of diploma process.
I have many students. Okay, I couldn't put a percentage to it, but I'd say 30%, 35% brand new, fresh undergrads who are still not really sure about what field, or let's say year 3 out of year 4, something happened, right? And this area of classes really, I mean, you ended up not doing very well. So again, right? This program is not remedial, But there are areas in your transcript I can understand if you did not so strongly, but your interest is in another area of your transcript where you did well. So it's things like that that our program can also support you and help you grow. So we have many students who are fresh undergrads. So it would mean, Tosin, that for you, you'll be able to start with us in autumn quarter. Once you finish your
Okay,
degree and get your undergraduate degree.
perfect. So I couldn't start in like the summer prior. It would have to be like
Correct.
standard autumn. Got it.
Correct.
Okay.
Autumn, because summer is when you get your degree. We need the final. We need your degree certificate, or we need
Oh, I
your
see.
final transcript, which says all credits completed.
Okay. That
But
makes a lot of sense.
But you
Okay.
and I can start talking now itself. Sometimes I talk to students 2 years before they apply. So, William, that's how I know you. So it does mean we have this journey together. And then when you're ready, you put it in, you feel super confident, and we can help you.
Okay, perfect. I was just
Keep
like a
in
little concerned.
touch.
Oh,
Yes,
I do have one more question.
please.
I
Yes.
think this was mentioned right at the beginning of the Q&A, but if we were to switch between the regular GSAL program and the GSAL for the Booth Business School specifically, is there a
Yep.
potential to switch back in subsequent
Yes,
semesters
yes,
or? Okay,
yes. But there needs to be a reason, right? Because
right.
people who do booth really want Chicago booth, right? The booth business. And it's a lot of tuition. So I'll need to understand why we are doing it, right? One time, understood. But if you're going back and forth, we need to know why. So it's not just it's not a backdoor way, right? To take all these classes and say, oh, well, I've got all these graduate classes. No, for Booth, it's maximum 3. We have an understanding with Chicago Booth, and then you need to apply to Chicago Booth. Even the other courses through GSAL, it's a maximum of maybe 5, and there has to be a reason. Returning scholar, because you are auditing, you can take 500. It doesn't matter because that's for personal edification, right? It's not for credits where you are working with a TA. The professor is spending a lot of time grading your papers. It's a different way of thinking. So for returning scholars, it's really for edification. For GSAL and GSALB, there is a point to it and how many classes we're taking for what purpose.
Okay. That makes sense. So if you know that you have interests that kind of, I guess, like delve into both business and non-business related
Yeah,
topics, would you say to do Chicago Booth first, or does it not matter in what
good
direction as
question.
long as you have
I will
faith in both?
ask you because for Chicago Booth, for GSALB, you need to have quant training. So you have to have Calculus 1, at least, and you need to have gotten a good grade for calculus. So you can't say, hey, Esther, I got a calculus, but you got a C. So that would already, right? So if you need that, I would say get the calculus because for Booth, there is a clear understanding of what we need to take. Then if there's a non-Booth interest, I'll want to know what that might be, and we'll find classes for you.
Okay, perfect. That makes sense.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
And please get online to meet with me one-on-one so we can talk more in detail, in depth.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
You are so welcome. So any last questions? William, Roger, Drayton, Andrea. Tom, would you like to just say hello so we can hear your voice?
Hello, all. Happy Wednesday.
Tom is wonderful. You'll get to know him too. Any questions, like deadlines, reach out to him. But I'm always here. I am always here. I'm always on my phone or on my computer. So I really wish you, I hope this has been helpful. We'll send you the recording. Reach out to me so I can get to know you one-on-one. Take very good care and be in touch. Enjoy this 40-degree weather. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Thanks, Esther.
Thank you.
Thank
Have a good
you.
one.